Today's the last lesson of Chapter 6 and it's on 610, and we are going to be talking about spheres. So when you think of a sphere, you can think of a basketball or a globe. Those are both examples of spheres. The first definition that we're going to get down is sphere, and it's a set of points in 3 dimensions or 3D that are a fixed distance from a given point, the center. So here is an example of a sphere. So you can see that that blue point is the center. And then we still have that radius and that circle going around it, but then we also have this circle on the outside creating the sphere or the 3D object. The next definition is hemisphere. And here's an example of a hemisphere. And this is going to be a plane that intersects a sphere. So as you can look at, it cuts the sphere in half. And it goes through its center and again divides it into 2 halves. So when I think of the world, we have the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. It's where it cuts it in half. The last definition that we need to get down is a great circle, and this is just the edge of the hemisphere. So right here, like this example, what's in green. Let's start off by finding volume of a sphere, and this is much easier than the ones before. There's just going to be a set formula. And the formula for volume of a sphere is we're going to use 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed, or radius to the 3rd power. So you're just going to plug in what we know, or what you know from the given sphere. So for this one, for example, we'll do 4/3 times pi, and our radius is 3, so we'll do 3 to the 3rd power. So now we can start to simplify this. So let's rewrite this as 4/3 times pi, and 3 to the 3rd power is 27. So we can say times 27. Then I'm going to multiply 4/3 and 27 together. And when you do that, you get 36 times pi, and we're going to use 3.14 for pi. And let's round to the nearest tenth. So you should get something around 113.0 units cubed. Okay, let's try this next one on top. So we're going to find, again, the volume of this sphere. So remember, volume, you're just going to do 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. So if we read this, it says find the volume of a sphere with a radius of 6 feet, both in terms of pi and to the nearest tenth. I want you to focus on being able to find it to the nearest tenth. So we're just going to take what we know and plug it in. So volume equals 4/3 times pi, and our radius is 6, so 6 cubed. And we're going to do 6 cubed first because of order of operations. So 4/3 times pi, and we can change this to 2/16. Now I want to multiply 4/3 and 2/16 together, and you get 288, and we're going to times that by 3.14. And your final answer, we're going to round to the nearest tenth again, should be 904.3 feet cubed. So I would like for you to try this third one, or this example down here, on your own. So pause it and then play it once you've finished and compare your answer to mine. So what you should have done is start in 4/3 times pi, and they tell you that you have a radius of 9 centimeters, so we're going to do 9 to the 3rd power. So we can rewrite this as 4/3 times pi times 729. So if you need to do this in your calculator, remember you do 9 caret key 3. That gives you your answer. I'm then going to multiply 4/3 by 729, which gives me 927 times 3.14. And I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, and I should get 3,052.1 centimeters cubed. That's my final answer. Alright, the last part that we're going to learn is how to find surface area. And to find surface area, again, we're going to use a formula where we're going to plug in what we know. So to find surface area, you're going to do 4 times pi times radius squared. So I'm going to do this first example over here, the left one together. So we're going to plug in 4 times pi, and our radius is 2, so 2 squared. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4 times pi times 4. I'm going to multiply 4 by 4, which is 16, and I'm going to change pi to 3.14. And then I'm going to multiply these together, round to the nearest tenth still. So we get 50.2 units square. So since we're just finding surface area, we're going to keep it as units squared. So I want to see if you can do this second one or this one on the right on your own. So pause the video, try it out, and then press play and compare your answer to mine. So what you should have done is 4 times pi. Our radius is 4 now. So we're going to do 4 squared. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4 pi times 16. I'm going to multiply 4 and 16 together, and I get 64. I'm going to change pi to 3.14, multiply those two numbers together, and I get 201.0 millimeters square. At this point, you're done with notes, so you can do your exit slip and make sure you have it turned in.